Think you've seen it all? Think again. In Australia, the laws of nature seem to have gone on vacation. This is a place where animals lay eggs and have pouches, where forests glow in the dark and where it might actually rain fish. From venomous creatures with cute names to landscapes that look like alien planets, these are the bizarre, mind-bending things that exist only in Australia and nowhere else on Earth. The Royal Flying Doctor Service is one of Australia's most remarkable innovations, a medical lifeline that operates in the sky. Established in 1928, it was created to provide emergency healthcare to people living in some of the most remote and isolated regions of the country. Using aircraft equipped as flying hospitals, doctors and nurses can reach patients in the Outback within hours, places where traditional ambulances could take days. It's not just a service, it's a symbol of Australia's commitment to accessibility and survival in extreme conditions. Standing high above Melbourne's skyline, the Eureka Tower is not just a modern architectural marvel, it's also home to a vertigo-inducing attraction. Near the top of this 297-metre skyscraper is The Edge, a glass cube that slides out from the building, suspending you in mid-air with nothing but glass beneath your feet. The name Eureka is a nod to the 1854 Gold Rush Rebellion, and the building's gold-plated top pays tribute to that golden era. It's a must-visit for thrill-seekers and cityscape lovers alike. In Australia, if someone invites you over in the arvo, don't panic. It just means they're asking you to hang out in the afternoon. Arvo is classic Aussie slang, part of a charming habit of abbreviating nearly everything. Australians have turned shortening words into an art form, and arvo is one of the most widely used examples. It's more than a quirky linguistic habit, it's part of the casual, easy-going culture that defines much of Australian life. Believe it or not, there's a town in Queensland named Banana. But don't expect to find fields of fruit. The town actually got its name from a yellowish bullock, yes, a cow, called Banana that once roamed the area. He was a beloved figure among early settlers, and the name stuck. It's one of those classic Aussie curveballs, a rural town with a fruity name, but an origin story rooted in cattle rather than crops. The cane toad is a living example of how good intentions can go terribly wrong. Introduced to Australia in 1935 to control crop-destroying beetles in sugarcane fields, the toads quickly became an uncontrollable pest themselves. They bred like wildfire and began poisoning native animals that tried to eat them, upsetting the ecological balance. Today, cane toads are one of Australia's most infamous invasive species, spreading across the country with few natural predators to stop them. If you ever find yourself on Rot Nest Island, prepare for a cuteness overload. The island is home to the quokka, a small marsupial dubbed the world's happiest animal. These furry creatures have a natural smile and a fearless, photogenic demeanour that makes them selfie magnets. Though they're wild animals, they often approach humans with curiosity rather than fear. Their cheerful appearance has turned them into international internet darlings, but conservation efforts remind us they're still a protected species in a delicate ecosystem. Deep in the folklore of the Australian bush lives the mysterious yowie, a towering, ape-like creature that's essentially Australia's version of Bigfoot. Tales of the yowie go back to Indigenous oral traditions long before European settlers arrived. Descriptions vary, but most say it's covered in hair, emits a foul odour, and leaves enormous footprints. Despite no concrete evidence, sightings continue to be reported, fueling curiosity and keeping this cryptid alive in Australia's mythological landscape. Located in Western Australia's remote Pernululu National Park, the Bungle Bungle Range looks like something from a surrealist painting. These giant, dome-shaped sandstone formations are layered in vivid orange and black stripes, resembling enormous beehives from another world. For thousands of years, they were known to the local Indigenous Keja people, but remained virtually unknown to the outside world until the 1980s. Now a UNESCO World Heritage Site, the range draws hikers, adventurers, and photographers from around the globe. Imagine flying over a landscape and seeing a bright pink lake. You're not hallucinating, you're seeing Lake Hillier. Found on Middle Island in Western Australia, This lake is famous for its bubblegum pink hue, which remains vivid even when bottled. Scientists believe the color comes from a specific type of algae and bacteria that thrive in the salty water. Though the exact cause remains something of a mystery, it's one of nature's oddest color tricks and completely unique to Australia. The Oodnadatta Track is more than just a rugged outback road. It's a historical trail that follows the path of an old Aboriginal trading route and later the route of the Overland Telegraph and Garn Railway. Stretching over 600 kilometres through South Australia's desert, it offers a harsh, beautiful journey past ancient fossils, hot springs and rusty ruins. It's not for the faint of heart, but for those seeking raw, unfiltered Australia, the Oodnadatta Track is a rite of passage. Tucked away in the tropical town of Katherine in the Northern Territory lies a hidden oasis, Katherine's Hot Springs. These natural thermal pools are crystal clear, geothermally heated, and surrounded by lush greenery, creating a serene escape from the harsh outback heat. With water temperatures hovering around 32 degrees Celsius, the springs offer a relaxing soak for locals and travellers alike. Long cherished by Indigenous communities and now a favourite among road trippers, these springs blend natural beauty with cultural significance. Central to Aboriginal culture and spirituality are Dreamtime stories, the sacred creation myths passed down orally for thousands of years. These stories explain how the land, animals and people came to be, linking specific places with ancestral beings who shaped the world. Far from being just folklore, Dreamtime narratives are deeply woven into daily life and land management. They reflect a living, ongoing connection between Indigenous Australians and the environment, an ancient worldview where the land itself holds memory and meaning. A coolamon is more than just a traditional container. It's a symbol of resourcefulness and connection to the land. Carved from wood and shaped like a shallow bowl, it was used by Aboriginal people to carry everything from water and food to babies and fire embers. Its curved design and portability made it ideal for nomadic life in the harsh Australian terrain. Today, coolamons are also treasured as cultural artifacts and are sometimes beautifully painted to reflect clan identity and storytelling. Often mistaken for a bear, the koala is a eucalyptus-loving marsupial that has become an international symbol of Australia. Spending up to 20 hours a day sleeping in tree branches, koalas conserve energy thanks to their low-calorie diet of eucalyptus leaves, which also happens to be mildly toxic and difficult to digest. With their fuzzy ears and slow, gentle movements, koalas evoke instant affection. But habitat destruction and disease have made conservation efforts critical to their survival. In the heart of the outback, around a campfire under a star-drenched sky, you might find someone boiling billy tea. Traditionally brewed by swagmen and bushmen, this rustic tea involves boiling water in a tin billy can over an open flame, then tossing in tea leaves. The final flourish? Swinging the billy in a wide arc to settle the leaves. Kakadoo's yellow water billabong is one of the most iconic wetlands in Australia, a lush, wildlife-rich expanse nestled within Kakadu National Park. Crocodiles glide silently through the water, while flocks of magpie geese, jabiruts and herons take to the skies. This unique environment shifts dramatically with the seasons from flood to dry and is deeply intertwined with Indigenous land management practices. Visitors can explore it by boat, gaining a front-row view of Australia's raw, untamed ecosystem at its most powerful. Rising from the mists of the Blue Mountains are the Three Sisters, a trio of weathered sandstone pillars that hold both geological wonder and deep cultural meaning. According to local Aboriginal legend, they represent three sisters who were turned to stone by a tribal elder to protect them, only to have the spell remain unbroken. Towering above the Jamison Valley, the formation draws tourists from around the world, standing as both a natural marvel and a mythic landmark. Despite its curious name, Useless Loop is far from pointless. This remote coastal town in Western Australia is home to one of the purest salt production operations on Earth. Originally named by French explorers who found the bay inaccessible for sailing, the name stuck, even as the settlement grew into an industrial hub for solar salt mining. Surrounded by stark, alien-like landscapes, Useless Loop is one of those places that perfectly embodies Australia's love for ironic naming and hidden gems. Cobar's Great Western Mine in New South Wales offers a dusty window into Australia's copper mining history. Once a bustling hub of mineral extraction, this site helped fuel Australia's industrial growth in the late 19th and early 20th centuries. Though mining still continues in the region, the old Great Western Mine is preserved as a historic landmark, complete with rusted machinery and ghost town vibes. It stands as a testament to the resilience and grit of mining towns in Australia's harsh interior. Spoken by Indigenous communities of the Central Desert, the Pitjantjatjara language is more than just a means of communication. It's a vessel for culture, identity, and ancient wisdom. Still actively spoken today, it's closely linked to Anangu people in areas like Uluru and the APY lands. The language includes complex kinship terms, place names, and spiritual concepts that are often untranslatable into English. Through education and storytelling, efforts continue to preserve and revitalize Pitjantjatjara for future generations. Towering dramatically off Victoria's rugged coastline, the 12 Apostles are a collection of limestone stacks sculpted by millions of years of erosion from the Southern Ocean. Though only 8 remain standing, their beauty is undiminished, rising majestically from the water like ancient sentinels. Best viewed at sunrise or sunset, these geological wonders draw crowds to the Great Ocean Road each year. Despite their biblical name, they were actually once called the Sow and Piglets, a far less majestic title for such iconic formations. Often overshadowed by its famous cousin Uluru, Mount Augustus in Western Australia quietly holds a grander title, the world's largest monocline. Measuring more than twice the size of Uluru, this massive rock formation rises from the desert like an island in a sea of red earth. Known as Burinra to the local Wahari people, it holds deep cultural significance and features ancient rock engravings. Despite its size, it remains one of Australia's best-kept secrets in geological marvels. Among the most fascinating cultural practices of Indigenous Australians are song lines, owl maps encoded within traditional songs that trace routes across the land. These intricate songs guide travellers from waterholes to sacred sites, navigating vast distances without the need for written maps. Each line holds spiritual, geographical, and historical significance, tying people to country through music and memory. Song lines aren't just melodies, they are living, singing pathways, proof of one of humanity's most sophisticated memory systems, passed down for tens of thousands of years. Fraser Island, or K'gari as it's traditionally known, is the world's largest sand island, stretching over 120 kilometres along Queensland's coast. But it's far from a barren dune. This island supports lush rainforests, perched freshwater lakes, and a complex ecosystem unlike anywhere else. It's also home to some of the purest dingoes in a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Fraser Island blends ecological wonder with Aboriginal heritage, offering a surreal mix of sand, forest, and sea in perfect harmony. Near the town of Gundagai in New South Wales sits a small but iconic statue, the dog on the tucker box. Based on a bush legend and an old poem, it commemorates the loyalty of a dog that guarded its master's food, the tucker box, even after the man's death. Over the years, it's become a symbol of Aussie resilience, loyalty, and bush humour. Travellers still stop to take photos, leave coins, and pay tribute to this humble, yet heartwarming national tale. Developed in Melbourne, the cochlear implant, often referred to as the bionic ear, has revolutionised hearing restoration for the profoundly deaf. Invented by Professor Graham Clark in the 1970s, this groundbreaking device bypasses damaged parts of the ear to directly stimulate the auditory nerve, enabling users to hear. It's one of Australia's greatest medical innovations, now used by hundreds of thousands worldwide. More than just a scientific feat, it's a story of persistence, compassion, and life-changing impact. The Tasmanian devil may look small, but it packs a punch. This noisy, carnivorous marsupial is known for its fierce screeches, powerful jaws, and aggressive feeding habits. Once widespread across mainland Australia, It now exists only in the wilds of Tasmania. Sadly, the species has been hit hard by a contagious facial tumor disease, pushing it toward endangerment. Conservationists are working tirelessly to save this uniquely feisty creature, which has become a symbol of both wild Tasmania and the fight for biodiversity. Floating along the beaches of eastern Australia, the blue bottle jellyfish may look like a harmless little bubble, but it delivers a painful surprise. Also known as the Portuguese man-o'-war, it's actually a colony of organisms working together. One part stings, another floats. Its trailing tentacles can stretch several meters and deliver painful stings that cause red welts, burning and swelling. While rarely dangerous, encounters are common during summer, prompting caution signs across popular beaches. For Australian cricket fans, Boxing Day isn't about post-Christmas sales, it's about the Boxing Day Test at the MCG. Held annually on December 26th, this cricket match is one of the most iconic events in the country's sporting calendar. Tens of thousands pack the Melbourne Cricket Ground, while millions more watch from home. The atmosphere is electric, filled with festive energy, national pride, and a love for the game that runs deep through Australia's veins. Fire stick farming is an ancient indigenous land management technique that involves the controlled burning of vegetation to promote ecological balance. Far from being destructive, these deliberate burns help clear underbrush, encourage new plant growth, and prevent large-scale wildfires. Practiced for tens of thousands of years, this method reflects deep knowledge of local ecosystems and sustainable living. Modern land managers are now turning back to fire stick farming as a way to restore landscapes and reduce bushfire risks. The hoop snake is one of Australia's most enduring and bizarre pieces of bush folklore. According to the myth, this snake bites its own tail, forms a circle, and rolls like a wheel down hills in pursuit of its prey. Though there's no scientific evidence such a creature exists, tales of hoop snakes have been passed down for generations, often used to spook newcomers or entertain around a campfire. Like many tall tales of the Outback, it blurs the line between fear and fun. In true Aussie fashion, even annoying insects get a friendly nickname. Mozzie is what Australians call mosquitoes. While the name sounds almost cute, mozzies are a real nuisance in the warm months, especially in tropical regions. Their bites are itchy, and in some areas they can transmit diseases like Ross River virus or dengue fever. Still, the slang term is so commonly used that even warning signs in national parks refer to them as mozzies, proving once again that Australians will nickname anything. Stretching 243 kilometres along the southeastern coast, the Great Ocean Road is one of the world's most spectacular scenic drives. Carved into cliffs above the crashing Southern Ocean, it winds through rainforests, surf towns, and iconic landmarks like the 12 Apostles. Originally built by returning soldiers after World War I as a memorial to fallen comrades, the road is both a tribute and a journey. Whether you're chasing sunsets, spotting koalas, or just soaking up ocean views, it's an unforgettable slice of Australia. The Royal Exhibition Building in Melbourne is a glorious relic of Australia's Victorian-era grandeur. Completed in 1880 for the Melbourne International Exhibition, it was one of the first buildings in the world to be awarded UNESCO World Heritage status. Its majestic dome, intricate murals, and surrounding Carlton Gardens make it a standout piece of architecture. Still in use today for expos and events, the building serves as a bridge between Australia's colonial past and its cosmopolitan present. With a name that sounds like the punchline to a joke, Burrumbuttock is a real town in New South Wales that never fails to raise a few eyebrows. Its unusual name, derived from Indigenous language, reflects the rich linguistic diversity of Australia's place names. Despite its cheeky sound, Burrumbuttock is a quiet rural community surrounded by farmland. The name itself has become a point of pride and humour for locals, another example of Australia's fondness for quirky town names. Delicate and deeply meaningful Tasmanian Aboriginal shell necklaces are a traditional art form that carries generations of cultural knowledge. Crafted by hand, often by women, these necklaces use tiny, shiny shells gathered from the shores of Tasmania, some so rare they can only be collected under specific conditions. Beyond their beauty, these pieces are powerful symbols of resilience and identity, especially in the face of colonization. Today, they are treasured both as cultural heirlooms and as living expressions of Tasmanian Aboriginal heritage. Held annually in South Australia, Seduna's Oysterfest is a seafood lover's paradise and a community celebration rolled into one. This coastal town is renowned for its plump, creamy oysters harvested from the pristine waters of the Great Australian Bight. The festival features oyster shucking contests, seafood feasts, live music, and family-friendly entertainment. More than just a food event, it showcases local pride, maritime culture, and the importance of aquaculture to the region's economy and identity. With its charred-looking trunk and dramatic spiky top, the grass tree, Xanthorrhoea, looks like something from a fantasy world. Native to Australia, these slow-growing plants can live for hundreds of years and are often among the first to regenerate after a bushfire. Aboriginal people have long used them for food, tools and resin. Despite their fire-blackened appearance, grass trees are symbols of renewal, embodying Australia's unique relationship with fire and survival in a tough environment. To the uninitiated, eating a witchetty grub might sound like a dare, but for many Indigenous Australians it's a traditional and nutritious bush food. These large white larvae are found in the roots of certain trees and can be eaten raw or lightly roasted over coals. Rich in protein and with a nutty flavour when cooked, witchetty grubs have sustained Aboriginal communities for thousands of years. They're more than just bush tucker, they're a testament to sustainable living and deep environmental knowledge. Before mobile phones and mail systems, Indigenous Australians used message sticks, carved wooden tools used to communicate across long distances and between clans. Each stick carried symbols and notches conveying information about everything from invitations and agreements to warnings and news. Often delivered by messengers travelling between territories, message sticks played a vital role in diplomacy and storytelling. Though rarely used today, they remain a powerful symbol of the complexity and richness of pre-colonial communication systems. In the heart of New South Wales stands Tamworth's Golden Guitar, a towering 12-metre monument to Australia's country music scene. As the host city of the annual Tamworth Country Music Festival, the largest of its kind in the Southern Hemisphere, Tamworth has earned its reputation as the country music capital of Australia. The Golden Guitar itself is modelled after the awards given at the Country Music Awards of Australia and serves as a beacon for music lovers, blending rural tradition with national pride. Dubbed the race that stops a nation, the Melbourne Cup is much more than a horse race. It's a cultural event embedded in Australia's national identity. Held on the first Tuesday of November at Flemington Racecourse, the Cup commands a public holiday in Victoria and momentarily halts work and school schedules across the country. With lavish hats, champagne toasts, and a sense of occasion, it's a blend of sporting spectacle and high society, capturing the country's attention for just over 3 minutes. Spanning nearly 20,000 square kilometres, Kakadu National Park in the Northern Territory is one of the most ecologically and culturally rich areas in the world. It's home to some of the oldest known examples of Aboriginal rock art, dating back more than 20,000 years. The park's landscapes range from wetlands teeming with crocodiles and birdlife to rugged escarpments and monsoon forests. Recognised as a dual World Heritage Site for both natural and cultural significance, Kakadu is a living, breathing archive of Australia's Indigenous heritage. The Simpson Desert is an expanse of red sand that stretches across the heart of Australia, covering over 176,500 square kilometres. Known for its striking parallel dunes, some of which are the longest in the world, it's a remote, arid environment where survival depends on deep knowledge of the land. Despite its harshness, the desert supports diverse life and holds deep significance for Indigenous communities. Adventurers who cross it often do so by 4WD or camel, following ancient trading routes through this vast sea of sand. Few items say Aussie Outback, like the Akubra hat. With its wide brim, durable rabbit fur felt and classic silhouette, this hat has become an emblem of Australian bush culture. Originally worn by stockmen and drovers, the Akubra is now a staple at rural events, rodeos, and even the heads of prime ministers. It's not just sun protection, it's a cultural icon, synonymous with rugged independence, practical fashion, and enduring connection to the land. The echidna is one of only 2 egg-laying mammals in the world, the other being the platypus, and it's about as strange as creatures come. Covered in spines like a porcupine, with a tubular snout for slurping up ants and termites, echidnas are living fossils, ancient monotremes that have roamed Australia for millions of years. They curl into spiky balls when threatened and can dig with astonishing speed. Despite their odd appearance, they're gentle and shy, often glimpsed waddling through bushland with surprising charm. The redback spider is Australia's infamous backyard menace, small, black, and marked by a signature red stripe. Closely related to the North American black widow, this spider hides in dark corners of sheds, mailboxes, and under toilet seats. Yes, really. Though its venom can be serious, anti-venom has dramatically reduced fatalities. Still, the redback holds a place in the Aussie psyche as a creepy crawly to avoid, and a reminder that in Australia, even tiny things can be deadly. Often lurking in wetlands and riverbanks, the tiger snake is one of Australia's most venomous reptiles. Its name comes from the dark bands across its body, which resemble a tiger's stripes. Tiger snakes are highly adaptable, found from Tasmania to southern mainland Australia, and can be aggressive if threatened. Their venom can cause paralysis or death without treatment, though bites are rare. Revered and feared, they're a powerful symbol of the wild, untamed beauty of the Australian landscape. With its vivid blood-red petals and jet-black centre, Sturt's desert pea is one of Australia's most striking native flowers. Found in arid central and northwestern regions, it thrives in harsh conditions, symbolising resilience and survival. The plant is the floral emblem of South Australia and features in Indigenous stories and Dreamtime traditions. Its unique shape and colour make it instantly recognisable and a favourite among wildflower enthusiasts and botanists alike. Australia is home to a peculiar phenomenon: big things. Massive roadside sculptures scattered across the country, each representing a local icon or industry. From the Big Banana in Coffs Harbour to the Big Lobster in South Australia, these oversized novelties serve as quirky landmarks and photo ops for road trippers. Originally designed to attract tourists to small towns, they've become beloved oddities that reflect regional pride, humour, and a very Australian love of the offbeat and grandiose. In the heart of South Australia lies Lake Eyre, officially known as Catithander Lake Eyre, a vast salt lake that rarely fills with water but creates a surreal spectacle when it does. During dry periods, it appears as a shimmering white salt pan stretching endlessly beneath the sky. But when rains flood the region, the lake transforms into a pinkish oasis due to the presence of algae and minerals, attracting thousands of water birds, including pelicans. It's a rare, otherworldly event that turns the desert into a living canvas. At dawn in the Australian bush, you're likely to hear the unmistakable sound of the kookaburra, a bird known for its loud, echoing laugh that carries across the landscape. More than just quirky, this laughter-like call plays a role in social bonding and territory marking. As a member of the kingfisher family, the kookaburra is also known for its hunting prowess, feeding on insects, reptiles, and even small mammals. Its iconic call has come to symbolise the Australian wild, both joyful and haunting. Scattered across the arid landscape of the Northern Territory, the Devil's Marbles, known to the Warramungu people as Karlu Karlu, are giant granite boulders that seem to defy gravity. Some are precariously balanced atop one another, while others appear split clean in half. Formed over millions of years through erosion and weathering, these rocks hold deep spiritual meaning for Indigenous Australians. They're not just geological oddities, they're sacred relics, carrying stories that link land and legend in one powerful setting. Few landmarks are as instantly recognisable or as spiritually profound as Uluru, the massive red monolith rising from the Northern Territory's desert floor. Also known as Ayers Rock, Uluru is sacred to the Anangu people, who have lived in the area for tens of thousands of years. Its surface is marked with caves, waterholes, and ancient rock art, each with its own Dreamtime story. Watching Uluru shift colours at sunrise or sunset is a bucket list experience and a deep connection to Australia's oldest living culture. Don't be fooled by its innocent appearance. Gympie gympie is one of the most dangerous plants in the world. Found in the rainforests of Queensland, this deceptively leafy green plant is also called the suicide plant, due to its excruciating sting. Tiny silica-tipped hairs cover the leaves and stems, and even the lightest touch can deliver pain that lasts for weeks or months. Stories abound of soldiers and explorers accidentally brushing against it and suffering agonizing consequences. It's nature's reminder that beauty can bite hard. The kangaroo paw is a unique and beloved native flower, known for its fuzzy, tubular blooms that resemble an animal's paw. Found mostly in Western Australia, these vibrant flowers come in reds, greens, yellows and purples, and are prized for their dramatic shapes and colours. Aside from being striking to look at, kangaroo paws are adapted to attract birds, especially honeyeaters, which pollinate them. They're also a symbol of Western Australia, representing resilience and the wild charm of the bush. Lurking on the ocean floor, expertly camouflaged, is the deadly stonefish, the most venomous fish in the world. Covered in wart-like bumps and algae-like textures, it blends seamlessly into coral or sand, making it a nightmare for unsuspecting swimmers. Step on one, and its dorsal spines deliver venom that causes extreme pain, swelling, and even death if left untreated. Found in northern Australian waters, the stonefish is a living booby trap, reminding us that danger often hides in plain sight beneath the waves. Tiny, beautiful, and absolutely lethal, the blue-ringed octopus is one of the most dangerous creatures in Australian waters. Barely the size of a golf ball, this mollusk is normally well camouflaged, but when threatened, it flashes its electric blue rings as a warning. Its venom contains tetrodotoxin, a neurotoxin powerful enough to paralyze or kill a human, and there's no known antivenom. Found in tidal pools and coral reefs, the blue-ringed octopus is a masterclass in how small doesn't mean safe. When people think of Australia, they don't usually picture snow. But the snowy mountains in New South Wales flip that script entirely. Home to Mount Kosciuszko, the country's highest peak, this alpine region is a winter wonderland during the colder months, attracting skiers and snowboarders to resorts like Thredbo and Perisher. In summer, the Snowies transform into a haven for hikers and wildflower chasers. With their icy streams, glacial lakes and crisp air, they prove that Australia isn't all deserts and heat. Towering like ancient sentinels, bunya pines are prehistoric trees native to Queensland, known for their massive cones and spiritual importance to Aboriginal people. Every few years, these trees produce football-sized seed pods that rain down with a thud and are packed with edible seeds. For thousands of years, Indigenous clans gathered at bunya festivals to feast, trade, and perform ceremonies. The tree's longevity and cultural significance make it one of the living legends of the Australian landscape. Bells Beach, located along Victoria's Great Ocean Road, is a sacred site in the world of surfing. Known for its consistent, powerful waves and dramatic cliff-line coastline, it has hosted the annual Rip Curl Pro since 1961, one of the longest-running surf competitions in the world. During Easter, elite surfers from around the globe gather to ride these legendary breaks. Bells isn't just a beach. It's hallowed ground for the surf community, with an atmosphere that mixes adrenaline, tradition, and awe. One of the quirkiest creatures on the planet, the wombat is a sturdy, burrowing marsupial known not only for its digging skills and barrel-shaped body, but also for producing cube-shaped poop. This peculiar trait is believed to help the droppings stay in place as territorial markers. Wombats are nocturnal, powerful diggers with rodent-like teeth and tough rumps they use to block predators in their burrows. They may look cuddly, but they're strong, resilient animals with some of nature's weirdest biology. Gleaming like a treasure yet packing a deadly secret, the cone snail is one of Australia's most beautiful marine creatures, and one of its deadliest. Found in tropical reefs and tide pools, this snail uses a harpoon-like tooth to deliver venom potent enough to kill a human. Its venom contains a cocktail of toxins that can paralyze prey, or a careless diver. Despite its danger, cone snail venom is being studied for medical breakthroughs, including non-opioid pain relief. Its lethal elegance in a tiny shell Suspended above one of the oldest rainforests on Earth, the Skyrail Rainforest Cableway offers a breathtaking journey through Queensland's lush canopy. Stretching from Cairns to Kuranda, this 7.5-kilometre gondola ride glides above the World Heritage-listed wet tropics, offering panoramic views of waterfalls, mountains and dense jungle. Passengers can stop at rainforest boardwalks and interpretive centres to learn about the area's ecology and Indigenous history. It's a serene, surreal way to experience nature from a bird's-eye perspective. Australia made global headlines when it became the first country to introduce polymer banknotes in 1988. Unlike traditional paper notes, these plastic versions are more durable, harder to counterfeit, and water-resistant. Perfect for a country where a rogue wave or outback rainstorm might ruin your wallet. Their semi-tambour windows, vibrant colours and tactile features make them not just secure, but visually iconic. Other countries have since adopted the technology, but Australia led the way in making money smarter and stronger. A classic Aussie treat, the lamington is a cube of sponge cake dipped in chocolate and rolled in desiccated coconut, sometimes with a layer of jam or cream inside. Believed to be named after Lord Lamington, a former governor of Queensland, the dessert has become a national favourite. Lamington drives are a staple of school and community fundraisers, and Lamington Day is celebrated annually. Simple, nostalgic and delicious, the lamington is a sweet embodiment of Australian culinary comfort. Nestled in South Australia, the Barossa Valley is one of the world's premier wine regions, known especially for its bold Shiraz. With its rolling vineyards, charming cellar doors, and rich German heritage, the valley is a magnet for foodies and wine lovers alike. Family-run wineries coexist with international labels, offering tastings that showcase decades of craftsmanship, from hearty reds to artisan cheeses and gourmet platters. The Barossa is a feast for the senses and a cornerstone of Australia's global wine reputation. The superb lyrebird is not only one of Australia's most visually stunning birds, with its ornate tail feathers resembling a lyre, it's also nature's most gifted mimic. Found in southeastern forests, the lyrebird can replicate chainsaws, car alarms, camera shutters, barking dogs, and even other bird calls with eerie precision. Males perform elaborate dances and songs during courtship, blending natural and man-made sounds into a one-bird symphony. It's a living audio recorder and a dazzling performer rolled into one. The Outback is more than just a place. It's a state of mind, a mythic expanse that captures the raw soul of Australia. Covering most of the continent's interior, the Outback is vast, remote, and often unforgiving, with scorching deserts, resilient wildlife, and scattered, close-knit communities. From the red sands of the Simpson Desert to cattle stations the size of small countries, it's a land of extremes. Life here demands toughness, ingenuity, and a deep respect for the environment's quiet power. One of the greatest natural wonders on Earth, the Great Barrier Reef is a sprawling, living organism stretching over 2,300 kilometres along Queensland's coast. Home to thousands of species of fish, coral, turtles and marine mammals, it's the world's largest coral reef system. Divers and snorkelers flock here to explore its vibrant underwater world, but rising ocean temperatures and coral bleaching pose serious threats. Still, it remains a breathtaking testament to the richness of Australia's marine biodiversity and a global call to protect it. Located in New South Wales, Wagga Wagga is one of Australia's many towns with a reduplicated name, a linguistic trait rooted in Aboriginal languages. Wagga is believed to mean crow in the Wiradjuri language, and repetition indicates plural, so Wagga 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 roughly means place of many crows. Beyond its curious name, the town is known for its strong military connections, vibrant arts scene, and beautiful riverside parks. It's also affectionately called Wagga by locals, proving Aussies never pass up a good abbreviation, even with a double name. A staple of the bushman's diet, damper is traditional Australian campfire bread made from simple ingredients, flour, water and salt. Often baked in the coals of an open fire or in a cast iron pot, it was favoured by swagmen, drovers and pioneers for its ease and portability. The result is a dense, crusty loaf, perfect with golden syrup or bush honey. Damper isn't just food, it's a piece of heritage, often shared during outdoor gatherings and campfire meals under the stars. Tucked into the Adelaide Hills is Harndorf, Australia's oldest surviving German settlement. Established in 1839 by Lutheran immigrants fleeing religious persecution, the town retains its old-world charm with timber-framed buildings, artisan shops, and German bakeries. Walking down its main street feels like stepping into a European village, with bratwurst, strudel, and handcrafts around every corner. Harndorf isn't just a historical oddity, it's a living example of multicultural Australia, where German heritage continues to thrive amid local wine country beauty. In the cool, fertile soils of Tasmania, a rare treasure grows: Tasmanian truffles. These gourmet fungi, specifically the prized black Perigord truffle, thrive in the island's clean environment and cool climate. Cultivated near the roots of oak and hazelnut trees, they're carefully harvested by trained dogs during winter. Their intense, earthy aroma draws chefs from around the world, putting Tasmania on the global culinary map. Once overlooked, these subterranean delicacies are now a multi-million-dollar industry and a source of local pride. Lurking in Australian folklore is the mysterious bunyip, a mythical creature said to inhabit swamps, creeks, and billabongs. Descriptions vary wildly, from a dog-faced monster to a serpent with tusks. But the fear it inspires is consistent. Rooted in Aboriginal legend, the bunyip often symbolises the unknown forces of nature, particularly the danger of water holes. While no physical evidence exists, stories of eerie noises and strange sightings persist, keeping this cryptid firmly embedded in the country's mythological landscape. The Daintree rainforest in far north Queensland is the oldest tropical rainforest in the world, over 180 million years old, predating even the Amazon. This lush, ancient ecosystem teems with life, from crocodile-filled rivers and blue Ulysses butterflies to rare tree kangaroos and cassowaries. It's also a place of immense cultural importance to the Kuku-Yalanji people, who have lived in harmony with the forest for millennia. Visitors can explore its wonders via boardwalks, zip lines, and river cruises, all while walking through a living time capsule. In a groundbreaking development, spray-on skin revolutionised burn treatment thanks to Australian scientist Dr. Fiona Wood. Developed in the late 1990s, this innovation involves spraying a patient's own skin cells onto burn wounds, dramatically speeding up healing and reducing scarring. It was notably used to treat victims of the 2002 Bali bombings, earning Wood international acclaim. A spray-on skin exemplifies Australian ingenuity in medicine, transforming trauma care and saving lives with remarkable efficiency and compassion. The boomerang is perhaps one of the most iconic symbols of Indigenous Australian culture. Traditionally made from wood and expertly crafted for balance, returning boomerangs were used for sport and ceremonial purposes, while non-returning ones served as deadly hunting weapons. Their aerodynamic design reflects an intricate understanding of physics and craftsmanship. Today, boomerangs are cultural artifacts, educational tools, and tourist favourites. But for Aboriginal communities, they remain a proud symbol of identity, innovation, and connection to country. Only in Australia would a regatta be made entirely of garbage. Welcome to the Darwin Beer Can Regatta, where vessels are built from thousands of empty beer cans, milk cartons, and plastic bottles. Held annually at Mindle Beach, this quirky event is part boat race, part creative engineering challenge, and all-round celebration of Aussie humour. With prizes for creativity, teamwork, and whether your boat even floats, it's a light-hearted nod to recycling, community spirit, and a good excuse to crack open a cold one. Standing tall, flightless, and forever alert, the emu is one of two animals featured on Australia's coat of arms, the other being the kangaroo. Emus can sprint up to 50 km/h, have powerful legs, and are naturally inquisitive creatures found across the mainland. They symbolise progress, as both they and kangaroos are unable to walk backward. As national symbols, emus represent forward movement, endurance, and the uniquely odd charm of Australia's native wildlife. The Gouldian finch is one of Australia's most visually dazzling birds, a living rainbow with a blend of vibrant purple, turquoise, yellow, green, red and black plumage. Native to northern Australia's savanna woodlands, this small grassfinch is shy and hard to spot in the wild, making sightings especially treasured by birdwatchers. Sadly, habitat loss and disease have caused major population declines, pushing the species to near-threatened status. Conservation efforts are underway to protect this feathered gem, often dubbed the jewel of the Outback. Hidden deep within Kakadu National Park, Uber Rock Art showcases some of the oldest and most culturally significant Indigenous artworks in the world. Painted on sandstone walls and shelters, these works date back tens of thousands of years, offering insight into the spirituality, daily life, and dreamtime stories of the Beningin/Mungai people. The art features animals, ancestral beings, and X-ray-style depictions showing bones and organs. Uber isn't just an archaeological wonder, it's a sacred storytelling canvas, still resonating with living culture. Bounding across Australia's interior with incredible strength and speed, the red kangaroo is the world's largest marsupial and an enduring symbol of the Australian outback. Males can reach up to 2 meters tall and are nicknamed boomers, known for boxing-style fights during mating season. Their powerful tails and muscular legs make them masters of long-distance travel across arid plains. Featured on coins, airlines and emblems, the red kangaroo is both a national icon and a resilient desert dweller. Every year in a tiny outback town, the Birdsville races turn red dust into racetrack glory. Held in Queensland near the Simpson Desert, this remote horse racing event attracts thousands of visitors who flock to Birdsville for a weekend of racing, camping, and Aussie-style revelry. Since 1882, it's been a quintessential outback tradition, mixing serious competition with a good dose of bush hospitality. For one dusty weekend, Birdsville becomes the social heartbeat of the outback, proving isolation is no match for spirit. Revered by sports fans as sacred ground, the Melbourne Cricket Ground, MCG, is Australia's largest stadium and a cornerstone of the nation's sporting history. Known simply as the G, it's hosted everything from iconic Ashes cricket tests to AFL Grand Finals and Olympic Games. Built in 1853, the MCG seats over 100,000 and radiates a special energy on game days. Whether it's the roar of a crowd or the crack of leather on willow, this stadium holds the pulse of Australian sports culture. Looking like a dinosaur crossed with a dragon, the frilled-necked lizard is a true Aussie reptilian oddity. When threatened, it rears up on 2 legs and fans out a large, colourful frill around its neck, making it appear much larger than it is. Native to northern Australia, this dramatic display is part defence mechanism, part theatrical performance. Despite its fierce look, the lizard is harmless and feeds mostly on insects. Its prehistoric appearance has made it an icon of quirky Australian wildlife. In New South Wales, the outback town of Lightning Ridge shines literally as the world's leading source of rare black opals. This remote settlement attracts miners, artists and adventurers hoping to strike it rich beneath the surface. Due to the searing heat, many residents live in underground dugouts, carved into the rock, which offer natural insulation from the desert temperatures. Lightning Ridge is a place where fortune, eccentricity and community coexist, with every shimmering opal revealing a fragment of the Earth's deep past. Yes, it really exists. Nowhere else is an actual locality in Tasmania, with one of the most delightfully absurd names in the country. Nestled in the island's northwest, it's a quiet farming region surrounded by rolling hills and peaceful landscapes. The name has made it something of a cult destination for road trippers seeking quirky photo ops with the town sign. In a land already rich in humour and oddity, nowhere else might just be the most ironically named spot of them all. In Broome, Western Australia, an extraordinary optical illusion occurs during certain times of the year, known as the staircase to the moon. When the full moon rises over the exposed mudflats of Roebuck Bay at low tide, its reflection creates the illusion of a glowing staircase leading straight into the sky. This natural phenomenon draws crowds to watch the surreal display, often accompanied by markets and live music. It's one of Australia's most magical light shows, no ticket required, just timing and a clear sky. Rounding out Australia's long list of quirky place names is Eggs and Bacon Bay, a charming coastal spot in Tasmania. Despite sounding like a breakfast menu item, the name likely derives from the native wildflower Hibbertia, known for its yellow and reddish blooms that resemble, you guessed it, eggs and bacon. The bay itself is peaceful and picturesque, with calm waters and sleepy surroundings. It's a perfect example of Australia's love for playful, sometimes baffling place names that leave visitors smiling. The yabby is a freshwater crustacean found in dams, rivers and billabongs across Australia, and it's as tasty as it is tenacious. These clawed little critters, often bluish or muddy brown, are a favourite among recreational fishers and a traditional bush tucker item. Yabbies are often boiled and eaten like mini lobsters or thrown into stews, and some even bake them into damper for an extra savoury kick. Easy to catch with a simple trap, yabbies are a symbol of outback ingenuity and down-to-earth dining. Permaculture, a term coined in the 1970s by Australians Bill Mollison and David Holmgren, is more than a gardening trend. It's a holistic philosophy for sustainable living. Short for permanent agriculture, permaculture integrates land, resources, people, and the environment through design principles modelled on natural ecosystems. From food forests to compost toilets, it's used around the world today to create regenerative farms, urban gardens, and eco-villages. Rooted in Australian soil, permaculture has grown into a global movement toward ecological harmony. Perched on a dramatic cliff overlooking the Pacific Ocean, the Byron Bay Lighthouse marks the easternmost point of mainland Australia. Built in 1901, it's still operational today, guiding ships with its sweeping beam while serving as a popular tourist landmark. Visitors flock to see humpback whales migrate past and to witness the first rays of sunrise in the country. The lighthouse, along with Byron's bohemian vibes and surf culture, makes this spot one of the most spiritually and visually captivating places in Australia. Port Arthur, located on the Tasman Peninsula in Tasmania, is one of Australia's most haunting and historically significant convict sites. Established in the 1830s, it was a brutal penal colony for Britain's most hardened criminals. The site features eerie ruins, including a solitary confinement prison and a Gothic church built by prisoners. Today, it's a UNESCO World Heritage listed destination and a solemn reminder of Australia's colonial past. Visitors can explore the site by day or take ghost tours by night through its shadowy corridors. A true evolutionary oddball, the platypus is a mammal that lays eggs, has a duck-like bill, webbed feet, and even venomous spurs on its hind legs. Found in freshwater creeks of eastern Australia, this elusive monotreme baffles scientists and delights wildlife lovers. When first discovered, Europeans thought it was a hoax. Today, the platypus is a national treasure. Its unique biology makes it one of the most unusual animals on Earth, embodying Australia's flair for the fantastical in nature. Western Australia's Margaret River region is a triple threat: epic surf breaks, limestone caves and world-class wineries. Located a few hours south of Perth, this lush area attracts surfers to beaches like Yellinghup and wine lovers to its hundreds of boutique vineyards. Beneath the surface lie extensive cave systems filled with stalactites and Aboriginal heritage. Whether you're sipping Shiraz, descending into underground chambers, or watching the sun melt into the Indian Ocean, Margaret River is a playground for the senses. The Chico roll is Australia's answer to the spring roll, chunkier, heartier, and deep-fried to crispy perfection. Invented in the 1950s, it was designed to be eaten with one hand at football games, containing a blend of cabbage, barley, beef and spices wrapped in a thick pastry tube. Though its popularity has dipped in recent years, the Chico roll remains a nostalgic icon of Aussie fast food culture. It's the snack that says, "I'm here for the footy," and "I'm not using a fork." With its glittering skyscrapers and golden beaches, Surfers' Paradise on the Gold Coast is Australia's version of a beachfront Vegas. Known for its vibrant nightlife, endless waves and sun-drenched skyline, it's a mecca for partygoers, surfers and tourists. Jet skis and beach volleyball by day, neon lights and rooftop bars by night, Surfers offers non-stop action in a postcard setting. It's bold, brash and unabashedly fun. blending high-rise glam with coastal cool in one unforgettable stretch of sand. If you're ever bitten by a bull ant, you'll definitely know it. These giant, aggressive ants can grow up to 40 millimeters long and pack a powerful sting. Native to Australia, they have excellent vision, can track intruders over long distances, and aren't shy about defending their territory. Bull ants are fascinating from a biological standpoint. Fierce, intelligent, and surprisingly complex in their social structures, but it's best to admire them from afar, especially if you value pain-free ankles. One of the most revered objects in international sport, the Ashes urn is the symbolic prize in the historic cricket rivalry between Australia and England. Originating from a mock obituary published in 1882 after England lost to Australia at the Oval, the urn supposedly contains the ashes of English cricket. Though only a few inches tall and made of terracotta, it holds monumental meaning. Matches for the Ashes series are fierce, passionate and watched by millions, fueling one of the greatest sporting rivalries in the world. The Tasmanian wilderness is one of the most pristine and ecologically diverse regions in the world, earning its place as a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Covering nearly 20% of Tasmania, it includes ancient rainforests, alpine peaks, glacial lakes and wild rivers. It also preserves one of the last temperate wilderness areas on Earth, and is home to rare species like the Tasmanian devil and the orange-bellied parrot. Rich in both natural beauty and Aboriginal heritage, it's a sacred landscape, as timeless as it is untamed. With its soft pink crest and snow-white feathers, Major Mitchell's cockatoo is often considered the most beautiful of Australia's cockatoos. Named after explorer Major Thomas Mitchell, this bird is more than just a pretty face. It's also intelligent and fiercely territorial. Found in arid and semi-arid inland Australia, it nests in tree hollows and is often heard before it's seen, thanks to its distinctive screech. Its elegance and rarity make it a prize sighting among birdwatchers and wildlife photographers. Australia is known for quirky place names, and Cockburn, a town in Western Australia, is no exception. But don't be misled by the spelling. It's pronounced Coburn, much to the confusion and amusement of visitors. The town name has sparked endless jokes and online confusion, but locals wear it with pride. It's a perfect example of Australia's easygoing attitude and ability to laugh at itself, especially when geography meets phonetics in such eyebrow-raising fashion. The lily-pilly is a vibrant rainforest shrub native to Australia, prized for both its ornamental beauty and edible fruit. Its bright pink or purple berries are tart and aromatic, often used in jams, jellies, and sauces. The glossy leaves and colourful blooms make it a popular choice for hedges and gardens. In Indigenous culture, lily-pilly fruit has long been part of traditional diets, and today it's making a comeback as a native superfood packed with vitamin C and antioxidants. Lord Howe Island is a tiny, UNESCO-listed paradise in the Tasman Sea that feels like it belongs in another world, or another time. With a cap of only 400 visitors allowed at any one time, it's an unspoiled haven of coral reefs, emerald mountains and turquoise lagoons. The island boasts rare wildlife, including the flightless woodhen, and lush plant life found nowhere else. Whether you're snorkeling, hiking Mount Gower or simply unplugging, Lord Howe offers natural luxury with a conservationist's heart. Crunchy, golden and steeped in history, Anzac biscuits are a beloved Australian and New Zealand snack, originally made to sustain soldiers during World War I. With no eggs, due to wartime scarcity, these oat coconut and golden syrup cookies were durable enough to survive long sea voyages to the front lines. Today, they're a symbol of remembrance and resilience, traditionally baked for Anzac Day each April. Sweet, simple and hearty, they're a culinary link to the bravery of the past. Nicknamed the coat hanger because of its arching shape, the Sydney Harbour Bridge is not only one of Australia's most iconic landmarks, but also a bucket list adventure for thrill seekers. The bridge climb experience lets visitors ascend the towering steel structure, offering 360-degree views of Sydney, its harbour, and the Opera House. Whether at dawn, dusk, or twilight, the climb is an unforgettable way to see the city and to literally walk atop one of its greatest engineering achievements. Tucked into Hobart like a secret lair, Mona, the Museum of Old and New Art, is Australia's boldest and most bizarre cultural institution. Founded by gambler-turned-philanthropist David Walsh, Mona showcases provocative installations and controversial pieces ranging from ancient mummies to modern immersive exhibits. The museum's subterranean layout and irreverent curation have earned it international fame as a playground for art lovers, skeptics, and the downright curious. It's not just a gallery, it's an experience that challenges what art can be. Native to Australia's east coast, the macadamia tree produces rich, buttery nuts now enjoyed around the world. These nuts, once harvested by Aboriginal Australians as a bush food, are encased in tough shells that require significant pressure to crack. Today, macadamias are a thriving industry, especially in Queensland and northern New South Wales. Their high oil content makes them perfect for everything from snack mixes to gourmet desserts. And they're Australia's most delicious native export to boot. The wine cask, affectionately known as the goon bag, is a true Aussie invention born in South Australia in the 1960 SS. Conceived by winemaker Thomas Angove, the boxed wine revolutionised cheap and convenient drinking, especially among students and festival goers. The bag-in-box design keeps wine fresher for longer and doubles as a makeshift pillow once emptied, an innovation as versatile as it is tongue-in-cheek. Love it or mock it, the goon bag is a cultural icon in its own right. Clapsticks, or bilma, are traditional Indigenous Australian percussion instruments used to keep rhythm during songs and ceremonies. Often made from hardwood and beautifully decorated, clapsticks are struck together to create a steady beat that accompanies didgeridoo playing and vocal chants. More than just musical tools, they carry cultural and spiritual significance, often passed down through generations. Their simplicity belies their importance. These two pieces of wood are vital to the storytelling, ritual, and oral traditions of the world's oldest continuous culture. In a country where some families live hundreds of kilometres from the nearest town, the School of the Air ensures that no child misses out on education due to distance. Established in the 1950s, it began as a radio-based learning system and has since evolved into a sophisticated online platform. Based in places like Alice Springs, it connects students scattered across the Outback with teachers through digital classrooms. It's an extraordinary example of Aussie adaptability, bringing knowledge to even the most isolated corners of the continent. The ute, short for utility vehicle, is an Aussie icon, part workhorse, part cultural legend. With a car front and a flatbed back, it's the preferred vehicle of tradies, farmers, and even city slickers. Utes are beloved for their ruggedness and practicality, capable of hauling livestock, tools, surfboards, or anything in between. They're so central to Aussie life that they've inspired ute musters, mass gatherings of enthusiasts that celebrate horsepower, country pride, and the uniquely Australian relationship with the road. Don't let its size fool you. The Irukandji jellyfish is one of the most venomous creatures in the world. No bigger than a fingernail, this translucent jellyfish inhabits northern Australian waters and is nearly invisible to swimmers. Its sting can cause Irukandji syndrome, intense pain, vomiting, sweating, and even a sense of impending doom. With symptoms more severe than many larger marine animals, this tiny terror serves as a powerful reminder that in Australia, even the smallest things can pack a deadly punch. The funnel web spider is the stuff of Aussie nightmares. Found primarily in New South Wales, this spider is not only highly venomous, but also aggressive when threatened. Its fangs are strong enough to pierce through fingernails and leather shoes, and its venom can be fatal if untreated, though antivenom has made deaths rare. Males become more dangerous during mating season when they wander into homes. Despite the fear they inspire, funnel webs also contribute to life-saving research, as their venom is used in medical studies. If you haven't tried the Tim Tam Slam, you haven't lived the full Aussie snack experience. It involves biting off both ends of a Tim Tam, a beloved chocolate-covered biscuit, and using it as a straw to suck up warm coffee, tea, or hot chocolate. As the filling melts, the biscuit collapses in gooey, chocolatey bliss. It's messy, joyful, and indulgent, a uniquely Australian ritual that turns a humble treat into a moment of sheer delight. The saltwater crocodile, or salty, is the largest reptile on Earth and reigns supreme in Australia's northern waterways. These prehistoric giants can grow over 6 metres long and weigh more than a tonne. Found from Queensland to the Kimberley, salties are stealthy, powerful, and territorial. Despite their fearsome reputation, they are protected species and play a crucial role in their ecosystems. Locals and tourists alike are taught to respect their domain, because in the north, the salty always has the final say. In the remote outback, strange glowing orbs known as min-min lights have puzzled observers for over a century. These unexplained floating lights appear at night, often hovering or following travellers before vanishing. Some believe they're spirits, others suggest mirages or glowing gas. Scientists have yet to provide a definitive answer, keeping the lights shrouded in mystery. Whether paranormal or not, min-min lights are a legendary part of Australian folklore, an eerie reminder that the outback holds secrets we may never fully understand. Formerly known as coon cheese, this popular Australian dairy product sparked a national debate over branding and cultural sensitivity. The name, which originated from the surname of an American cheesemaker, drew criticism due to its racial connotations in modern contexts. After much public discussion, the brand was renamed Cheer Cheese in 2021, reflecting a shift toward inclusivity and respect. It was a rare example of a beloved supermarket staple being rebranded for the sake of social progress, and a sign of changing times. Baking in the harsh desert heat of South Australia lies Coober Pedy, a surreal opal mining town where most residents live underground. To escape the extreme temperatures, often soaring above 45 degrees Celsius, locals dig out homes, shops, and even churches beneath the earth in what are known as dugouts. The town produces over 70% of the world's opals, giving it the title Opal Capital of the World. Coober Pedy is a place where necessity has carved out one of the most unusual and fascinating communities on the planet. If there were an award for the most unfortunate yet hilarious town name in Australia, Tittybong would take the cake. Located in rural Victoria, this tiny locality is more a dot on the map than a bustling community, but its name alone draws giggles from road trippers and curious travellers. While its origins are thought to stem from Aboriginal language, its double takeway name has earned it a cult following of photo-snapping visitors and a permanent place on lists of Australia's quirkiest place names. Few foods divide opinion quite like Vegemite. This iconic salty dark brown yeast spread is made from leftover brewer's yeast extract and is slathered on toast across the country. Loved by Aussies, loathed by many outsiders, Vegemite is a rite of passage for visitors who dare to try it. Rich in thin layers only, as even fans agree that a little goes a long way. Whether you love it or gag on it, Vegemite is undeniably Australian. Nestled in Western Victoria, Grampians National Park, Gari word to the local Indigenous people, is a rugged natural wonderland filled with sandstone cliffs, cascading waterfalls, and some of the most significant Aboriginal rock art sites in southeastern Australia. The park is a haven for hikers, climbers, and nature lovers, but its cultural heritage is just as important. Its ancient rock shelters preserve stories, hunting scenes, and spiritual symbols etched by the Djab Wurrung and Djab Wajali peoples over thousands of years. You know you're in Australia when a town erects a big prawn as a roadside attraction. Towering 9 metres high, Ballina's Big Prawn in northern New South Wales is one of the country's many oversized monuments, affectionately dubbed Australia's Big Things. Originally built to celebrate the town's fishing industry, it was saved from demolition in 2009 by public demand. Now perched proudly above a Bunnings parking lot, the Big Prawn is a crustacean colossus that celebrates seafood, kitsch and Aussie humour all at once. The bilby is a nocturnal marsupial with long ears, soft grey fur and a strong association with Australia's environmental Easter efforts. As an endangered desert-dwelling species, the bilby has become a native alternative to the traditional Easter bunny, helping raise awareness about threatened wildlife. Conservation groups promote chocolate bilbies instead of bunnies during Easter, and programs to breed and reintroduce bilbies into protected areas are helping bring this charming little digger back from the brink of extinction. The boab tree, native to northern Australia, looks like something out of a fantasy novel, with its swollen, bottle-shaped trunk capable of storing thousands of litres of water. It's a vital survival tool in arid regions. Sacred to Indigenous communities, boabs also serve as natural markers and meeting places. Some ancient trees are estimated to be over 1,500 years old. One even served as a makeshift jail cell during colonial times. Gnarled, majestic, and deeply symbolic, the boab is a living monument of the Outback. Stretching more than 1,100 kilometres across southern Australia, the Nullarbor Plain is one of the most desolate, flat and treeless expanses on Earth. Its name literally means no trees in Latin, and it lives up to the title. Crossing it by car or rail is a rite of passage for adventurous travellers, complete with the world's longest straight stretch of railway and some of the most surreal, horizon-drenched views imaginable. It's a place of eerie silence, big skies, and an unshakable sense of awe. Surprisingly, modern Wi-Fi technology has deep roots in Australia. In the 1990s, scientists at CSIRO, the Commonwealth Scientific and Industrial Research Organisation, developed a key technique that made fast, reliable wireless internet possible. Their patented breakthrough in radio astronomy-based signal processing led to the foundations of what became modern Wi-Fi. Today, billions of devices worldwide use this Aussie-born invention, a testament to Australia's under-the-radar but world-changing contribution to digital connectivity. In the remote Kimberley region of Western Australia, an incredible natural phenomenon occurs: horizontal falls. Unlike traditional waterfalls, these are tidal rapids, formed when massive volumes of water are pushed through narrow coastal gorges by powerful tides. The effect is so dramatic, it looks like a waterfall flowing sideways. Accessible only by boat or seaplane, the experience of flying over or jet boating through horizontal falls is one of the most exhilarating ways to witness nature's raw force in Australia's wild northwest. If you ever find yourself driving through central Queensland, you might spot a Tropic of Capricorn road sign, marking the precise latitude where the tropics begin. This invisible line runs around the globe at approximately 23.5 dg south of the equator and slices right through Australia. Standing beside the sign has become a travel tradition for many road trippers, often accompanied by a cheesy grin and a commemorative photo. It's geography, road trip culture, and planetary tilt, all in one quirky roadside stop. In the late 19th century, refrigerated transport revolutionised Australia's economy and global trade. Before this innovation, Australia's thriving meat industry had no way to ship fresh products to distant markets. With the introduction of mechanical refrigeration on ships, Australia was suddenly able to export vast quantities of beef and lamb to Europe, particularly Britain. It marked a turning point, helping transform the country into an agricultural export powerhouse and shaping Australia's role in global food supply chains for decades to come. Fairy bread is one of Australia's most nostalgic childhood treats. Simple, colourful, and unapologetically sugary. Made by spreading butter on white bread and sprinkling it with rainbow hundreds and thousands, nonpareils, it's a staple at kids' birthday parties. While its origins remain mysterious, it's been a beloved Aussie tradition for generations. Served cut into triangles and loaded with cheer, fairy bread is the taste of childhood innocence, proof that sometimes the simplest foods make the biggest impact. Coiled like a chunk of driftwood and nearly invisible in dry leaves, the death adder is one of Australia's most dangerous snakes. Unlike most serpents that slither away when threatened, death adders lie in wait, ambush predators that strike with lightning speed. Despite the name, antivenom has significantly reduced fatalities, but a bite still causes paralysis and requires urgent treatment. With its stocky body and deceptive stillness, the death adder is a master of camouflage and a predator to be respected. With a sound like the earth humming itself to sleep, the didgeridoo is one of the oldest wind instruments in the world. Traditionally made from eucalyptus trees hollowed out by termites, it produces a deep, resonant drone. Played using circular breathing, the didgeridoo is both musical and spiritual, used in ceremonies by Aboriginal Australians for tens of thousands of years. Its sound evokes nature, spirit, and timelessness, an ancient instrument still echoing through the modern world. An everyday item with extraordinary impact, the dual flush toilet is a humble Australian invention that's changed bathrooms worldwide. Created in the 1980s by Bruce Thompson of Coroma Industries, it gives users the option of a half flush or full flush, conserving thousands of litres of water annually. Especially vital in drought-prone Australia, this simple yet effective design has since been adopted globally. It's a reminder that sustainability often starts with the little things, like flushing smarter. The Woomera is a traditional Aboriginal spear thrower that dramatically increases both the range and force of a spear throw. Often made of wood and decorated with carvings or ochre, the Woomera acts as an extension of the arm, leveraging physics to maximize impact. It's not just a hunting tool, it's an engineering marvel, showcasing Indigenous Australians' deep understanding of mechanics and craftsmanship long before modern technology. Revisited from earlier with a fresh twist, horizontal falls in Western Australia's Kimberley region are one of the most unique tidal phenomena on Earth. Massive ocean tides, some of the largest in the world, rush through two narrow rock gorges in Talbot Bay, creating horizontal waterfalls. The sight and sensation of being in a boat riding the surging tide is unforgettable. David Attenborough once described them as one of the greatest natural wonders of the world, and once you see them, it's easy to understand why. Wild, rugged, and mostly untouched by development, the Cape York Peninsula is Australia's northernmost point and one of its last true wilderness frontiers. Reaching the tip involves off-road adventure, river crossings, and dense bushland, making it a pilgrimage for serious 4WD enthusiasts. The area is also rich in Indigenous culture, tropical wildlife, and sacred sites. Standing at the tip is more than a photo op. It's a symbol of making it to one of the most remote and raw parts of the country. With a striped back and a long, sticky tongue, the numbat is a small, termite-devouring marsupial found mostly in Western Australia. Unlike many Australian animals, numbats are active during the day and rely on keen senses to find thousands of termites each day. Once widespread, habitat loss and predators like fox pushed the numbat to near extinction. Conservation efforts have helped protect this unusual and adorable creature, which also happens to be Western Australia's state emblem. Located on the remote west coast of Australia, Ningaloo Reef is often overshadowed by its famous cousin, the Great Barrier Reef, but it's just as breathtaking and far less crowded. Stretching over 260 kilometres, it's one of the few places on Earth where you can swim alongside gentle whale sharks, the world's largest fish. Unlike deep water dive spots, Ningaloo's reef is close to shore, making it accessible to snorkelers and marine enthusiasts alike. It's a paradise for adventurers and ocean lovers without the tourist crush. Covered in thorny spikes and moving with a hypnotic wobble, the thorny devil is one of Australia's most bizarre-looking lizards. Native to arid desert regions, this little reptile has a crown of spikes that helps deter predators, and a fascinating way of drinking water. Its skin channels moisture from any part of its body directly to its mouth via tiny grooves. Despite its fearsome appearance, the thorny devil is completely harmless and relies on camouflage and slow movement to evade danger. In Australia, thongs are something you wear on your feet, not your behind. These humble rubber flip-flops are essential Aussie footwear, perfect for beach trips, backyard barbies, and quick dashes to the servo. No Aussie summer wardrobe is complete without them. And yes, they've caused more than a few linguistic misunderstandings with international visitors who often do a double take at the word. Love them or hate them, thongs are a cultural cornerstone of laid-back Australian life. Every winter in Tasmania, the Dark Mofo Festival turns the cold, dark nights into a surreal celebration of art, ritual, and the senses. Held around the winter solstice, it features provocative art installations, nude ocean swims, fire feasts, and eerie performances, all cloaked in shadow and mystery. Run by the creators of Mona, Museum of Old and New Art, Dark Mofo challenges convention, embraces the primal, and invites people to confront the strange beauty of the dark. Fast, rough, and completely unique, AFL, Australian Rules Football, is a high-octane sport that blends elements of soccer, rugby, and even basketball. Played on an oval field with 18 players per team, AFL features high-flying marks, catches, rapid handballing, and non-stop action. Born in Melbourne in the 1850s, it has since grown into a national obsession, especially in Victoria, where it's closer to religion than sport. It's fast, physical, and fiercely loved, an essential part of Aussie culture. Winding through Victoria's high country, the Great Alpine Road is one of Australia's most scenic drives. Stretching from Wangaratta to Metung, it cuts through lush valleys, snow-capped mountains, and charming alpine towns like Bright and Dinner Plain. In winter, it's a gateway to ski resorts. In summer, a haven for cyclists and nature lovers. Whether you're road tripping or just chasing wildflowers and wine tastings, it's a breathtaking journey through some of the country's most diverse landscapes. The sail-like design of the Sydney Opera House is instantly recognisable around the world, but few know the drama behind its creation. Designed by Danish architect Jørgen Utzon and completed in 1973, it's a UNESCO World Heritage Site and a symbol of Australia's creativity and boldness. Inside, it hosts over 1,500 performances a year across music, theatre, and dance. Whether you're catching an opera or just admiring it from the harbour, the Opera House is a place where architectural brilliance meets artistic ambition. Travel back in time at Sovereign Hill in Ballarat, where the 1850s gold rush is brought vividly to life. This open-air museum recreates a booming gold mining town, complete with costumed characters, gold panning, horse-drawn carts, and old-timey sweet shops. You can even watch molten gold being poured and visit underground mines. It's educational, immersive, and surprisingly fun, offering a tangible taste of the chaos, hope, and grit that shaped early colonial Australia. Kangaroo Island is often called Australia's Galapagos, thanks to its rich biodiversity and remote, rugged beauty. Located off the coast of South Australia, it's home to kangaroos, koalas, sea lions, and rare bird species. After devastating bushfires in 2001, 9, 2002, 2.0, 2020, 2.0, from soaring cliffs and honey farms to quiet beaches and eucalyptus forests, it's a sanctuary of life, reborn from ashes. In Australia, when someone invites you to a barbie, you're not meeting a doll, you're headed to a barbecue. A cornerstone of social life, the Aussie barbie is where sausages, aka snacks, steaks, prawns and veggies sizzle on open grills while friends share beers and stories. Whether it's a beach picnic or a backyard bash, the barbie is more than a meal, it's a ritual. And yes, someone will probably shout, "Throw another shrimp on the barbie," even if they mean prawns. If you're a tourist in Australia and someone warns you about the drop bear, don't panic unless you believe in mythical carnivorous koalas. The drop bear is a long-running Aussie hoax, a supposedly large fanged marsupial that drops from trees to attack unsuspecting foreigners. It's entirely fictional, but told with such sincerity that many visitors have fallen for it. It's all part of Australia's cheeky sense of humour and a rite of passage for anyone gullible enough to Google it. Chugging through the lush forests of the Dandenong Ranges, the Puffing Billy Railway is a century-old steam train that captures the charm of old-world travel. Originally opened in 1900 to serve remote communities, it now operates as a heritage railway and beloved tourist attraction. With open-sided carriages, it's more than a train ride, it's a joyful time capsule of Australia's railway history. Rising from the yellow sands of Nambung National Park, the Pinnacles Desert in Western Australia looks like a scene from another planet. Thousands of limestone spires, some towering up to 4 metres, jut skyward from the earth, shaped over thousands of years by wind, sand and erosion. The landscape shifts in colour with the light, especially at sunrise and sunset, creating a surreal, otherworldly experience. It's a place where science and dreamlike wonder collide in the middle of the Outback. Aboriginal dot painting is one of the most recognisable forms of Indigenous Australian art. rich with symbolism and spiritual meaning. Created using dots of natural ochre or acrylic paint, these works often depict dreamtime stories, landscapes, and ancestral journeys. What may look abstract to outsiders is actually a sophisticated visual language tied to country, identity, and sacred lore. Far more than decorative art, dot painting is a powerful way of preserving and passing down cultural knowledge that has endured for tens of thousands of years. A backyard icon, the Hills Hoist is Australia's favourite way to dry laundry and a symbol of suburban life. Invented in Adelaide in the 1940s, this rotating clothesline became a post-war staple, famed for its practicality, durability, and the occasional game of backyard cricket beneath its spinning arms. It's found in gardens across the country, and many Aussies have fond memories of swinging from it as kids. More than just a clothesline, the Hills Hoist is a quirky emblem of Australian invention and domestic life. Often overshadowed by Uluru, Kata Tihuta, also known as the Olgas, is a breathtaking collection of 36 massive domed rock formations located in the red centre. Rising from the desert like giants turned to stone, Kata Tihuta is a deeply sacred site for the Anangu people. Its name means many heads in Pitjantjatjara, and each dome holds cultural and spiritual stories. Visitors can walk among the monoliths, absorbing the scale and silence of this mystical ancient landscape. Tucked away in the Queensland Outback, the Qantas Founders Museum in Longreach tells the story of Australia's national airline, born right here in the bush. The museum is a treasure trove of aviation history, featuring original aircraft, interactive exhibits, and even a 747 you can walk on and inside. Qantas started in 1920 as a tiny airmail service and grew into one of the world's most respected airlines. Longreach may be remote, but its aviation legacy is sky high. Since 1915, Haig's Chocolates in Adelaide has been handcrafting fine confections, making it the oldest family-owned chocolate company in Australia. Known for their quality and rich flavour, Haig's produces everything from peppermint frogs to gourmet truffles, all made with premium ingredients. The factory itself offers tours where visitors can watch chocolatiers at work. In a world of mass production, Haig's is a reminder that craft, tradition, and a touch of sweetness can stand the test of time. Aerogard is the unofficial scent of the Australian summer, an insect repellent that's practically mandatory during BBQs, camping trips, and bushwalks. Legend has it that Queen Elizabeth II used it during her 1963 visit, giving it royal approval and helping boost its popularity. Developed by CSIRO in the 960s, Aerogard became the go-to defense against mozzies, sandflies, and other bitey nuisances. With its distinctive smell and near-mythical effectiveness, Aerogard is as much a part of summer as sunburn and sausages. Stretching over 5,600 kilometres, the Dingo Fence, or Dog Fence, is one of the longest man-made structures in the world. Built to keep dingoes out of fertile grazing land in southeastern Australia. Originally erected in the 1880s, it runs from the cliffs of South Australia through Queensland and into New South Wales. Though controversial in terms of environmental impact, it remains an engineering feat and a testament to Australia's ongoing challenges in balancing agriculture with wild nature. Last but not least, we have the wonderfully named Mount Buggery, a real peak in Victoria's Alpine National Park. With a name that evokes everything from frustration to pure Aussie irreverence, it's one of several cheekily named locations across the country. The origin is unclear, but hikers who tackle the steep climb may find it aptly named. It's a quintessential example of Australia's dry humour being carved straight into the map, proving even the landscape has a sense of fun. The inland taipan, also known as the fierce snake, holds the terrifying title of the most venomous snake in the world. Native to remote parts of Central Australia, it delivers venom potent enough to kill a human in under an hour, with a single bite containing enough neurotoxin to kill over 100 people. Thankfully, it's extremely reclusive, rarely encountered by humans, and remarkably shy. It's a silent master of survival in harsh deserts, and a reminder that Australia's deadliest creatures are often also its most elusive. Tucked away in the Blue Mountains of New South Wales, the Geological caves are among the oldest and most spectacular limestone cave systems on Earth, dating back over 340 million years. With soaring caverns, crystal-clear underground rivers, and intricate formations like stalactites and stalagmites, they feel like a portal to another world. The caves are steeped in both geological wonder and cultural history, having been sacred to Indigenous people for millennia before becoming one of Australia's top natural attractions. Believe it or not, the first electric drill was invented by an Australian, Arthur James Arnott, who patented it in 1889 while working in Melbourne. Originally designed for heavy-duty mining and construction, Arnott's invention laid the groundwork for the power drills used in homes, workshops and job sites around the globe today. It's one of Australia's lesser-known contributions to everyday convenience, proving that Aussie ingenuity extends far beyond barbecues and wildlife. The Great Australian Bight is where land meets ocean with breathtaking drama. This vast open bay along the southern coast of Australia features towering sea cliffs, crashing waves, and a wild, windswept beauty that stretches for thousands of kilometres. It's also a haven for southern right whales, which come here to breed and calve. Often remote and difficult to access, the Bight represents nature on a grand, unfiltered scale, a place where the continent ends in thunderous splendour. Only in Australia would you find a boat race in a completely dry riverbed. Welcome to the Henley-on-Todd Regatta in Alice Springs. Every year, participants run through the sand carrying the frames of boats, dressed in ridiculous nautical gear, while spectators cheer and toss sand. The event is a parody of the British Henley Royal Regatta and is the only boat race cancelled if the river is actually flowing. It's peak Aussie humour, turning a dry desert into a celebration of absurdity and community spirit. The Australian Stockman's Hall of Fame in Longreach, Queensland, is a heartfelt tribute to the rugged men and women who shaped the country's outback identity. This museum chronicles the stories of stockmen, drovers, sharers, and bush pioneers through immersive exhibits, historic artefacts, and multimedia displays. Set against the wide skies of Western Queensland, it celebrates not just a profession, but a culture built on resilience, grit, and the enduring connection between humans, land, and livestock. Wilpena Pound is a breathtaking natural amphitheatre nestled within South Australia's Flinders Ranges. This massive crater-like formation is not volcanic, but the result of millions of years of erosion and geological uplift. To the local Adnyamathanha people, Wilpena Pound, Ikara, is a place of deep spiritual significance. Hikers and adventurers come to explore its ridges, gorges, and wildlife, with trails leading to panoramic viewpoints that feel like standing on the edge of ancient time itself. One of the simplest inventions with global impact, the notepad was invented in Australia in 1902 by J. Birchall, a stationery shop owner in Berwick, Victoria. Birchall's stroke of genius was to glue sheets of paper together at the top, creating a portable tear-off pad for jotting notes. This everyday item is now a staple in homes, schools, and offices around the world, a reminder that innovation doesn't always have to be complex to be brilliant. The Kimberley in Western Australia is one of the most untamed and ancient landscapes on the planet. Spanning vast plateaus, gorges, waterfalls, and remote coastlines, it's a place where crocodiles, Aboriginal rock art, and boab trees coexist in near-total wilderness. The region is sparsely populated and largely inaccessible without serious gear or a seaplane. Its remoteness and rugged beauty have preserved both its ecological richness and its sacred cultural heritage, making it a true frontier of Australia's wild heart. The southern cassowary is a rainforest-dwelling bird that looks more dinosaur than avian. Found in northern Queensland, this flightless giant sports a vivid blue neck, striking red wattles, and a helmet-like casquet on its head. Known for their solitary and territorial behaviour, cassowaries can deliver dangerous kicks with their dagger-like claws if threatened. Despite their prehistoric appearance, they're crucial to rainforest ecology, dispersing the seeds of many native plants. They're beautiful, bizarre, and a little bit terrifying. In other words, perfectly Australian. Humpty Doo sounds like something out of a nursery rhyme, but it's a real, and wonderfully quirky town in the Northern Territory. Located just outside Darwin, Humpty Doo is famous for its unusual name, relaxed outback vibes and classic Aussie pub. While the origin of the name remains debated, possibly from a corruption of an Aboriginal word or British slang, the town has become a favourite for road trippers and a symbol of the Northern Territory's offbeat charm and tropical larrikin spirit. Murphy. The legendary drop bear is a masterclass in Aussie humour, a fictional marsupial said to drop from treetops and attack unsuspecting tourists. Described as a large, fanged cousin of the koala, the drop bear is the subject of countless pranks, fake government warnings and even museum exhibits. It's entirely made up, of course, but it has become a cultural rite of passage for international visitors. Fall for the story, and you've officially been welcomed to the Australian way, equal parts humour and deadpan delivery. With over 700 species, the eucalyptus tree is the backbone of Australian flora and the only thing on the menu for koalas. Known for their potent oils, fast growth and fire-adaptive traits, eucalypts dominate the landscape from arid plains to lush mountains. Koalas are highly selective, feeding on just a few specific varieties, and rely on them not only for food but also for hydration and shelter. Beyond their ecological importance, eucalyptus trees are deeply woven into Indigenous culture, medicine and lore. Come By Chance, a real town in New South Wales, sounds like the punchline of a travel joke, but it's as genuine as they come. The town's name dates back to the 19th century, when a sheep station was come by chance, and the name stuck. Today, it's a rural locality best known for its annual Come By Chance picnic races, where locals and visitors gather for old-fashioned bush festivities. It's the kind of place you really do stumble upon and never forget. With its dusty terrain, eerie silence, and vast mining scars, Broken Hill feels like the set of a post-apocalyptic movie, and it has been. Famous for its silver, lead and zinc mining, this isolated outback city helped fuel Australia's industrial rise, but its stark red soil surroundings and dramatic light have also made it a favourite for filmmakers, particularly the Mad Max series. Today, Broken Hill is a living gallery of industrial heritage, quirky art and raw desert beauty. The Eureka Stockade flag is more than just cloth and stars. It's a symbol of rebellion, resistance, and the birth of Australian democracy. Flown during the Eureka Rebellion of 1854, when gold miners in Ballarat rose up against oppressive colonial licence laws, the flag featured the Southern Cross on a blue field. Though the uprising was crushed, it sparked significant political reforms. Today, the Eureka flag is an enduring emblem of workers' rights and grassroots defiance, proudly flown in protests and historical commemorations alike. Since 1932, R.M. Williams boots have been the footwear of choice for drovers, bushmen and stylish city folk alike. Handcrafted from a single piece of premium leather, these iconic Australian boots were designed to handle the harsh outback while looking sharp enough for a country pub or a boardroom. Founded by bushman Reginald Murray Williams, the brand embodies rugged elegance and timeless craftsmanship. To own a pair is to walk in the footsteps of generations of Australians who value function, form, and a good heel. Don't be fooled by the name. Dismal Swamp in Tasmania is anything but bleak. This massive sinkhole-turned-adventure park was once the largest temperate rainforest sinkhole in the southern hemisphere. It featured an elevated boardwalk, an underground maze, and even a giant slide spiralling into the depths of the forest floor. Though the attraction has closed in recent years, it left behind memories of ecotourism with a twist. Proof that even dismal places can be filled with wonder. The Great Aussie Beer Shed in Echuca, Victoria, is part museum, part man cave and entirely devoted to one thing: beer. Housing over 20,000 beer cans from around the world, alongside pub memorabilia, vintage machinery and Aussie nostalgia, it's a true monument to the country's love affair with the amber fluid. This offbeat roadside attraction celebrates the humour, history and ritual of Aussie beer culture, where cracking open a cold one is practically a national pastime. If someone says, "fair dinkum," you can take their word as gospel. This classic Aussie phrase means genuine, authentic or no kidding, and it's used to express sincerity or disbelief. That's fair dinkum can mean "that's the honest truth" or just "really?" Its origins are debated, but its place in Aussie slang is cemented. Whether you're affirming a tall tale or calling out a pretender, fair dinkum keeps things honest, Aussie style. Tucked between high-rises and hidden corners, Melbourne's landways are a sprawling canvas of street art, indie boutiques and hole-in-the-wall cafes. These narrow alleys, once service lanes, have become the city's creative heartbeat. Graffiti-covered, constantly evolving and uniquely atmospheric. Wander through Hosier Lane to see murals by world-class artists or sip espresso in Degrave Street among locals and tourists alike. Melbourne's laneways are more than shortcuts, they're living galleries and intimate glimpses into the city's rebellious soul. Named for the blue-hued haze created by oil from eucalyptus trees, the Blue Mountains in New South Wales are a UNESCO-listed wonder of sandstone cliffs, deep valleys and ancient forests. Just 2 hours from Sydney, they offer breathtaking views, like the iconic Three Sisters rock formation, as well as Aboriginal rock art and mystical waterfalls. The scent of gum leaves and the whisper of cockatoos make the region feel timeless, where rugged natural beauty and cultural heritage meet in every canyon and crag. Sleek, spotted and secretive, the quoll is one of Australia's lesser-known but utterly fascinating marsupials. Nocturnal and carnivorous, these fierce little hunters resemble small, spotted cats, but they're actually closer cousins to the Tasmanian devil. Native to forested regions, quolls are expert climbers and predators, feeding on insects, birds and small mammals. Once widespread, their numbers have declined due to habitat loss and predators like foxes. But conservation efforts are helping this elusive bush ninja make a quiet comeback. Out in the remote wheat belt of Western Australia rises Wave Rock, a 15-metre-high granite cliff that looks like it's frozen in the act of breaking. Shaped by erosion over millions of years, its dramatic curve and striped patterns make it look eerily like an ocean wave captured in stone. Local Indigenous lore surrounds the formation, and nearby sites include ancient rock art. Wave Rock isn't just a natural oddity, it's a jaw-dropping example of nature's slow-motion artistry. Once thought extinct, the Wollemi pine was dubbed a living fossil when it was rediscovered in 1994 in a secluded gorge of Wollemi National Park. This prehistoric conifer dates back over 200 million years, meaning it was around when dinosaurs walked the earth. Only a few dozen wild trees exist, and their exact location is kept secret to protect them. Now cultivated in botanic gardens around the world, the Wollemi pine is a stunning symbol of survival against the odds. Few animals have broken the internet quite like the quokka, and Perth's quokka selfies on Rottnest Island have turned this grinning marsupial into a global celebrity. These tiny, curious wallabies often approach tourists with zero fear and an accidental smile that lights up every photo. The result? A viral trend where celebrities and backpackers alike post selfies with their fuzzy, photogenic friend. Behind the adorable facade, conservation efforts ensure quokkas remain protected on their island paradise. Aotearoa or Churinga is a sacred object of deep spiritual significance to many Aboriginal groups, often made from stone or wood and engraved with ancestral symbols. These items are connected to Dreamtime stories and are typically kept secret, passed down through generations. Churunga aren't just artifacts, they are living links to creation stories, lore and identity, imbued with power and reverence. Their use and handling are highly restricted, underscoring the profound respect Indigenous Australians maintain for their sacred traditions. Located off the coast of Perth, Rottnest Island is a car-free paradise known for its laid-back vibes, turquoise bays and, of course, its adorable quokkas. Once used as a prison colony, the island is now a protected reserve where visitors travel by bike, foot or eco-shuttle. White sand beaches, shipwreck dives and salt lakes define the landscape. The name Rottnest comes from Dutch explorers who mistook quokkas for giant rats, but today this wildlife haven is anything but unpleasant. A Kurrabori is a traditional ceremonial gathering of Indigenous Australian peoples, often involving dance, music, costumes and storytelling. More than just performance, Kurraboris serve as powerful expressions of spirituality, cultural transmission and communal connection. They might mark rites of passage, seasonal events, or dreamtime tales brought to life through movement and song. Each corroboree is unique to the group and its land, preserving knowledge and identity that has been passed down for thousands of years. One of the world's great rail journeys, the Indian Pacific travels from Sydney to Perth, crossing the entire Australian continent in just over 3 days. Stretching 4,352 kilometres, it passes through everything from the Blue Mountains to the red deserts of South Australia and the endless flatness of the Nullarbor Plain. On board, passengers enjoy luxurious cabins, panoramic windows, and gourmet meals as the landscape unfolds in epic scale. It's a rolling meditation on distance, diversity, and the boundless wonder of Australia. Almost invisible in tropical waters, the box jellyfish is one of the world's most venomous marine creatures. Found mainly in northern Australia, this transparent predator has tentacles up to 3 meters long, laced with thousands of tiny harpoons that deliver excruciatingly painful stings, and can be fatal without immediate treatment. Despite its near invisibility, lifeguards monitor for them during stinger season, when beaches put out vinegar stations and protective nets. This ghostly, floating killer is a reminder that Australia's waters are as dangerous as they are beautiful. Ranked as one of the most dangerous snakes on Earth, the eastern brown snake combines speed, aggression, and a venom so potent it can cause death within hours. Found across eastern and central Australia, it's responsible for more snakebite fatalities in the country than any other species. Agile and alert, it prefers flight over fight, but when cornered, it rears up and strikes with terrifying precision. Despite the danger, these snakes are protected under law and play a vital role in rodent control across rural regions. Immortalized in the song Waltzing Matilda, the swagman was a rugged, itinerant worker who roamed the Outback during the late 19th and early 20th centuries in search of odd jobs. Carrying a swag, a bedroll and belongings, he symbolized independence, resilience, and the hardship of bush life. Though largely a relic of the past, the swagman remains a romanticized icon of Australian folklore, a drifter, a rebel, and a poetic symbol of freedom in a harsh but beautiful land. At the Tasmanian Devil Zoo, visitors don't just observe wildlife, they step into the animal's world. Located in Taranaki, this conservation park flips the traditional zoo model by removing cages and allowing native species like Tasmanian devils to roam in natural habitats. It plays a crucial role in breeding and protecting devils from facial tumour disease, while also educating visitors about local ecosystems. The zoo isn't just about seeing animals, it's about rethinking how humans interact with wildlife. An essential part of modern aviation safety, the black box flight recorder was invented by Australian scientist David Warren in the 1950s. After his father died in a plane crash, Warren developed a device to record cockpit conversations and flight data, initially dismissed but eventually adopted worldwide. Painted bright orange for visibility, the black box is now mandatory in aircraft globally, helping investigators solve aviation mysteries and prevent future disasters. It's one of Australia's greatest contributions to global safety. In Shark Bay, Western Australia, the past is alive and well thanks to stromatolites, the oldest living fossils on Earth. These ancient dome-shaped structures are formed by layers of cyanobacteria, the same microorganisms that helped create Earth's oxygen-rich atmosphere billions of years ago. Walking along the boardwalk at Hamlin Pool feels like stepping into prehistory. Stromatolites are more than just rocks. They're living reminders of life's earliest forms and of Australia's status as a cradle of ancient biological history. No Aussie gathering is complete without an esky, the iconic portable cooler named after the brand that popularised it. Whether you're at a beach, barbecue or camping trip, the esky keeps drinks frosty under the blazing sun. Originally invented in the 1950s, it became synonymous with outdoor leisure and the laid-back Aussie lifestyle. Today, esky is a generic term, but the nostalgia and utility remain the same: cold drinks, good mates, and long summer days. Spanning the heart of the continent, the Ghan is an epic train journey stretching 2,979 kilometres from Darwin to Adelaide. Named after Afghan camel drivers who once navigated these desert routes, the train takes passengers through red deserts, tropical savannas, and rugged mountain ranges, all in luxurious comfort. With off-train excursions, gourmet dining, and panoramic views, the Ghan is less transportation and more a voyage through time and terrain, offering a window into the vast and varied soul of Australia. Founded in 1920 in Outback, Queensland, Qantas, short for Queensland and Northern Territory Aerial Services, is now known globally as the Spirit of Australia. It began as a bush airline flying mail and passengers across vast, empty landscapes, and has since grown into one of the world's oldest and most respected international carriers. Known for innovation, safety, and long-haul excellence, Qantas remains a proud symbol of Aussie ingenuity, endurance, and connection across great distances. The Victor lawnmower is a backyard hero that revolutionised garden maintenance, not just in Australia, but worldwide. Invented in 1952 by Mervyn Victor Richardson in Sydney, the first Victor was made from a peach tin, billy cart wheels, and a two-stroke engine. Its lightweight, easy-to-push design quickly became a household staple. Victor mowers soon rolled their way into yards across the globe, and the brand became synonymous with Aussie practicality and tinkering brilliance.